Okay, let's really unpack that idea. Think of the United States Air Force as a spear. It's designed to be an offensive weapon, to project power anywhere on the planet. But then you have the Russian aerospace forces, and they're built like a shield. Their main job? Defending the homeland. Honestly, if you get that one concept, almost every decision each side makes, every piece of equipment they buy, suddenly makes perfect sense.
So, how do you even begin to compare these two giants? I mean, for real. It's so much more than just asking which fighter jet would win in a dogfight. The real difference, the thing that truly matters, is their mission. What job were they designed to do from day one?
All right, let's start with America's global spear. The U.S. Air Force, at its very core, is what we call an expeditionary force. That's just a fancy way of saying it's built from the ground up to fight far, far away from home. And to win. And what makes all of that possible? Well, it starts with a number that is kind of hard to wrap your head around. The U.S. defense budget is over $800 billion a year. Now, that money doesn't just buy more planes. It pays for the crazy advanced research, the top-tier training, and the globe-spanning logistics network that actually lets the spear do its job. You know, if you want one single stat that shows the difference in philosophy, this is it. Look at aerial refueling tankers. The U.S. has over 600 of them. Russia, they have about 20. These planes are basically flying gas stations, and they are the absolute lifeblood of global power projection. They give American jets pretty much unlimited range. And this all feeds into the USAF's core doctrine, offensive counter-air. What does that mean? Put simply, their goal is to be the one kicking down the door on the very first day of a conflict. All that amazing tech, stealth fighters like the F-35, that network of bases all over the world, the superior data sharing, it all serves one single purpose: get in, take control, and own the skies. Okay, now let's flip the script and talk about Russia's Iron Shield. Their strategy isn't about flying halfway around the world. Nope, it's about making their own backyard an impenetrable fortress. And here's the twist. They don't do this primarily with their fancy fighter jets. They do it with what they've put on the ground. For decades, Russia has poured money and brainpower into creating one of the densest, most advanced, and frankly most feared ground-based air defense networks anywhere on Earth. This chart really spells it out, doesn't it? The U.S. pours its resources into projecting power from the air. Russia, on the other hand, invests in denying other people access to its air from the ground. It's a fundamental choice. Instead of trying to match the U.S. tanker for tanker, they've built a wall of missiles. You can see this doctrine in all their key hardware. Their S-400 surface-to-air missile system is world-class. And their fighters, like the super maneuverable Su-35, are designed to be lethal interceptors, but operating inside that protective missile bubble. The whole game is about air denial and supporting their army right on their borders. So where is this all headed? What happens next? Well, it leads to this incredible technological race where the spear is always getting sharper and the shield is always getting stronger. Let's talk fifth-generation stealth fighters. Here, the U.S. has a massive head start. I mean, the F-22 and F-35 aren't just concepts. They're mature, combat-tested platforms that are deeply integrated into the force. Russia's answer, the Su-57, is still kind of the new kid on the block, with way fewer planes in the sky and a lot less real-world experience. And that's a huge deal when you're talking about that first day of the war capability. But there is one area that could totally change the calculus: hypersonic weapons. We're talking missiles traveling at more than 5 times the speed of sound. So the big question is, who's winning that race? Well, it's not a simple answer. Russia claims they've already deployed weapons like the Kinzhal missile, which would give them a head start. The U.S., though, is playing a bit of a longer game, pouring an insane amount of money into multiple, even more advanced programs. They're betting on having a more sophisticated and capable arsenal in the long run. Okay, let's pull all these threads together. What we're really looking at are two incredibly powerful forces, but each one has been shaped by a completely different strategic vision. And this table just lays it out perfectly. For the US Air Force, it's all about offensive power projection, using a stealth air fleet with global reach. For the Russian Aerospace Forces, the VKS, it's defensive air denial, built around a layered missile network with a regional focus. It really is the spear versus the shield. And this right here is probably the most important thing to remember from all of this. It's just a mistake to ask which Air Force is better. The real question is, better at what? Each one is a highly specialized tool, custom-built to do a completely different job. Which leaves us with this huge, fascinating strategic question for our time. As technology keeps leaping forward and the world keeps changing, which philosophy comes out on top? Is it the unstoppable spear that can strike anywhere on the globe? Or is it the immovable shield, designed to be unbeatable on its home turf? That's the question that's going to define the future of air power.